Very good morning to all of you. In our previous session, we have finished with our first unit, and you've given an exam on that. So now today we'll start with the second unit. That is all about the arrays and string. I hope my screen is visible to you. Is it so? Anyone can ping. Because still due to the network, I'm not getting your chats or anything. So anyone can unmute and answer. Anyone can please unmute and answer that you are getting my voice and screen is visible, right? Oh. Whatever the content figure, everything is taken from the complete reference by Herbert Schild. That is your reference book. Yeah, fine. Because I'm facing very poor network issue over here at college. So please bear me. Fine. Now the very next unit, that is all about arrays and strings. First, we will learn what is array, and then we'll move on to string with the different built-in functions, wrapper class. Then the command line argument was the topic of this unit, but we have already finished it, right? This many things we are going to learn in this second unit. Now, what do you mean by array? Array means what? Why we are taking array? If the array won't be there, then you can't work. So why you are taking array? Because you want to reduce your work for initialization, for variable creation and all. How? Say suppose any one of the program. Once my screen will be visible, please let me know. Is it visible? Anyone can write.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, visible. Yeah, great. Okay. So what do you mean by the array? This is what we were discussing. And for that, I'm saying that if you are having any number of variables, right, this many number of variables, you have to take the values for the single variables like integer dot parse integer, and you are taking args of 0 or something like this, and so on, right? So here what is happening, our task will be increased, right? You have to remember first of all this many variable names, right? And this is how you are actually increasing your work. Instead of that, if I'll be having array, say suppose I'm taking a of 12, or it was something like that previously, right? Just a sec. Yeah, sorry for disturbance. Okay, so here generally in C language, what you used to do is you are taking the array variable like this, right? That integer a of 12 or something like this. But here that is not the case in Java. You are not directly declaring the array with the size like this. Instead of that, you have to follow the proper syntax. So that I'll show you. Okay. So here, if we will talk about C language only, say suppose in C language, you have written integer a of 12, okay? And here, now what you can do is you can directly take a for loop, right? And after that, just by one loop, you can take those variables from the user, as well as you can print those variables by a single line. You just need to write a of I, something like this. That I would be your index. Okay, so this is how you are actually eliminating your work, and with that reason only you are using array. Okay, fine. Again back to the slide. Group of like typed variables referred by a common name, right? And we would be having only one limitation, that in array we will be having a same kind of data type variables. If I'm taking integer array, it means I would be having all the variables integer, right? It is not a mixture of that one or two variables you will be having integer, then float, and then double, and so on, right? Instead of that, what you are doing is you are taking a single type variable, right? And it would be referred by a common name, that a, say suppose. So a of 0, that is again a, right? A of 1, a of 2. You are just changing the index. Fine. I hope I'm audible, right? Meanwhile, I'll check the connection, otherwise I'll be speaking and here the connection would be lost. Okay, then one dimensional array, then the two dimensional array, multi-dimensional array. But here we are saying first one dimensional array. What is the syntax? First, you are writing this like type means your data type and the variable name and square braces, right? So the same thing, I mean, whatever you are writing here, only just one variable has been created. That is the month date, days, right? You have just declared it. You have not initialized it with their particular size. Okay. And after declaration, what you are doing is now you are writing that array variable name equals to new, then data type, and in square braces, you need to write the size. So say suppose that was your variable month days. So now you can write month days equals to, then the square braces are not required, right? Equals to new integer of 12. So here you need to write new integer because this will create the 12 sized integer array. Okay. So what you need to do, how you are writing, two steps are there. Either you are saying first one array variable is there, that is integer a, and now you are saying a is equals to new integer and you are providing size, say suppose 10. So this is how you can do. Or this two lines, if you wish to write in a single line, you can write integer then a with square bracket equals to new integer of 10. This is how you can write. Okay. Here you don't have to forget, you have to write data type. Data type. And here is the size. Okay. Here's now the another one, that how you can initialize the values, right, directly. So this is the auto initialize, right? If I'm writing integer month days and this, then I don't have to specify the size because it will directly take the elements and it will calculate automatically the size. So you don't have to specify here it's 12 or not. They will calculate by its own. Okay. I hope this is clear. Yes or no? Right? Fine. Now, how you can initialize the array? Here I am showing you three different ways, right? First is what? You are directly assigning the all the elements equals to, then the curly braces, and in between that you are giving the values. So integer array 1 and here equals to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. This is what you are doing. Okay. Then integer array 1 is equals to new integer of 5. So this is what the typical way I just shown to you, that this is how you can first create the array of 5 size of data type integer. And now what you are doing, you are initializing it. So how you can initialize, you need to take a for loop first, right? So in the for loop, and then you are assigning either single elements like this, or you can do some stuff like array 1 of j is equals to j plus 5. So what it means, first time the value of j would be what? 0. So 0 plus 5 means 5. So array 1 of 0 is equals to 5. That has been assigned. Second time value of j will be incremented. So that would be 1. So 1 plus 5. That will be assigned to array of 1. So this is how you can do the initialization. Fourth way is also available, but that I'll discuss later on. This is the third one, that integer array. Here again you are creating with the 5 size data type integer array, and you are specifying single element, that array 1 of 0 equals to this value, then 1 means this value, and so on. So this is how you can give the values. I hope this thing is clear. how you can initialize it, right? Simple, that what you were doing in C language, the same thing is here. I mean, nothing new is there. And the fourth type that I can say, you can initialize the value via random function also, because many of the times you need the 100 size array. But that is not the thing a user will give the 100 values every time to just check single program. But I need 100 values, that is also sure, right? So what I can do, that 100 variables I can assign with the use of math.random function. So via randomly, they can directly assign this value to that particular variable. Even we are also giving some of the random values only, right? Data is not important. Just to check the logic, that is important. Okay, so that is the fourth way. So this is how you can initialize your array with some value. Generally, we are using this one, maybe this for loop. Either you are giving some static or you will take this value from the user, right? This is only the way. Now in multi-dimensional array, first way we are going to see this, that is two-dimensional array. Here how you can write integer, I have given some array variable name, then square brackets 2 times means that is 2D array is equals to new, then again data type integer, and I'm specifying 4 and 5. So here very first element in the square bracket, that is known as row, and the second one is column. That all we know, right? So here I'll be having 4 rows and 5 columns, right? So how this matrices will be created? Left index determines the row, means this one, and these are the columns. If I want to assign any of the value, so here is the right index, that this is 0 0 element, this is 0 1 element, this is 0 2 0 3 0 4, because 0th row and only the column will get changed. Same way here, first row 0th column, excuse me, right? So that way here the second row 0th column to 4th column, so total 5 and so on. So this is what you can do. Right? We'll see one example of this. Okay. So here I've taken one class that is named as the 2D array, right? In public static void main, I'm creating two-dimensional array, that is 2D equals to new integer 4 5. So 4 row 5 columns. Here I'm taking the indices, that index I j k is equals to 0. Then I'll take one for loop, one that is for row, another one that is for column, right? So I is equals to 0, I less than 4, I plus plus. And for j is equals to 0, j less than 5, j plus plus. Okay. So actually this loop will be there till 3, right? 0, 1, 2, 3. So total 4 times. And this will be 4 5 times 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. What you are doing actually, you are assigning some value to these variables, right? So I'm saying that this 2D of ij is equals to k. Initially, I have given the value of k, that is 0, but every time I will do the increment. Okay, so first time it would be something like this, 2D of 0, 0 equals to 0. Because first time row is, means for the row you are having index I. So that is 0, and for the column j is equals to 0. So you will take 0 and 0. Right? Second time what will happen? Row will be same. Column will only get moved. So if we will see in this figure, right? First element is this 0 and 0. Now second time 0 will remain same, means you are taking like this. First row all the columns, second row all columns, third row all the columns, and so on. So here your 0 will remain same and your column will get changed. That is what, right? Because the loop of j will be incremented. So next time you will be having 2 of 0 and 1, that will become 1 because your k has been incremented, no? And that you are giving. So I hope this is clear. Yes or no? Right? Very easy. Array is so easy. Same like your C and C++. Nothing new in that. So here that what we have finished. Now the second time here I have just assigned the values. I have initialized the values. But how the user will get to know, because I haven't printed that. So I just need to print that values, no? So here I am taking again for loop. Again the loop for the j and all. And I'll print it. System.out.print that 2d of ij, that I'll print over here. And whenever your first row will be completed, at that time system.out.println will be there. So it will go to the next line and then again it will print. Okay. Here we'll run the program, what it is showing. Fine. So what they are printing, it will get starts from 0 to 4, then again second row, then third row and fourth row. Total 4 rows and 5 columns. Okay. Is it clear? Right? Fine. Good. Now there is one concept, rect array. Anyone know about this? What is the rect array? Anyone? It is also known as the jegged array, right? Anybody knows about this? Fine. So here what we are doing is, this second thing, this one, that element we haven't given at the time of array initialization or array declaration. Whenever I'm writing integer 2d of this and this is equals to new integer of 4. So I am confirmed with that I would be having 4 rows, but I don't know how many columns I am having, right? If you will do the reverse, that is not allowed. If you will confirm with your number of columns, but you are not sure with the rows, then it is not allowed. It is only allowed for the columns. Okay, that you can skip this. That is allowed. So then what you are doing is 2d of 0, means whenever you are having your first row, at that time you are creating new integer of 5. What it means? It means that 0th row, means say suppose this one, that is your 0th row, that 0th row is having total 5 number of columns, because a single row can be treated as a one-dimensional array. Yes or no? If I'll consider only this rectangle. So what it means, it is a 1D array. This is again one-dimensional, and the one-dimensional. If I'll combine all this, then it is known as the two-dimensional array. right? So here the same thing what I'm doing is I am taking first a zeroth row, right? And then I'm saying that zeroth row is having total 5 columns. Same way for 1, 2, 3, and so on. Now it is not necessary that you will be having same number of columns in all the row. It is not necessary. It would be something like this for your pattern wala program, if you remember in C language. Different patterns you have done, right? So if such kind of programs are there, there won't be same number of columns for each and every row. Okay, so here what you are doing, again you are writing integer 2d of this is equals to new integer 4 and blank. So this 2d of 0 is equals to new integer of 1, then 2d of 1 is equals to new integer of 2. It means that zeroth row is having only one column. So you can see this here, only one column is there. Then 2d of 1 is equals to new integer of 2. So here you will be having 2 columns. Here 3 columns, here 4 columns, and so on. Okay. I hope this is clear. Yes or no? Right? Yeah. Yes, Divyansh. Member can be with different lengths. Fine. And the three-dimensional, for that I can show you that integer 3d, then 3 times you will be having those square braces and equals to new integer of 3, 4, and 5. So I would be having in 3 different dimensions. If I'll talk in the terms of I, j, and k, so you can simply understand you will be having I, that is 3, j 4, and k 5. And in that way you are arranging, you are initializing your values. Okay, I'll show you another example of this today. So here you are having one another class, that is the 2D again, right? And here what I have done is that jagged array, or you can say rect array, right? Array of the array, because a single row will be treated as a one-dimensional array. So here I've done the same thing because my column size is not fixed. It will vary. So I cannot write like this, okay, that it is of 5. I will be having all these rows, 4 rows with the 5 columns. No, I cannot say that because it will vary. So what I need to do, I just need to keep it blank. And then I'll give a single row with some specified size which you want. So that 2d of 0 is equals to new integer of 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, and so on. Then we'll take the 3 index I, j, and k. Then we'll take one for loop for 4. And here what I need to do, here this is the main thing, this for loop. What I'm taking is only I plus 1, because if I'm having my 0th row, it is having number of columns I plus 1. Here I'm having I plus 1, I plus 1. So I have taken that j will execute till I plus 1, right? And j plus plus. Then again you are assigning the same thing, that k and k plus plus. Okay. Same thing you are doing to print it, and then system.out.println for the new line after every row, right? So we'll check the output for this. So here what you are getting is at very first time only 0. Why? Because the k would be 0 and it will exactly run for one time, right? Because 0 plus 1 will become 1. So exactly one column will be there, one time 0 will be printed. Then it will move on to the next row. So here your I will be incremented. I is now become 1. So that is 1 of 0 is equals to then again another value that is 1 because k has incremented, then 2, and then again row will be incremented, then 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9. So here the loop will be having always I plus 1, right? Whatever the index for I is having, that plus 1. So I hope this is clear. Anyone is having any doubt in this? Yes, either say yes or no. Say something at least. Okay, fine. Okay, good, good, very nice. Fine. Then another program. So here you can even give or assign that value in the auto array. Means directly you are giving like equals to, and then in this curly braces you are assigning the values. So this also you can do, right? So for that I have shown you that I'm having one array which data type is double, variable name is m, there are two brackets, so it's 2D array, right? So at the very first time I'll be having this curly braces which will be having some values, but that values are also in the pair. This is your 0th row, this is your first row, this is your second row, and this is your third row. Means you are having total 4 rows, 0, 1, 2, 3, and this many columns, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is how you are having the values. So let's check for the output and then I'll explain. So here I'm compiling the program, that javac matrix.java. Once it will be compiled, I'll show you what is the output. Fine. So here we are having this. Oops. Mistakes have done. Yeah. No. It's okay. Yeah. Fine. So here what I'm doing is I'm applying some multiplication even over here, right? And that is also showing to you. So you can even apply some normal arithmetic operations at the time when you are assigning or initializing the values. Okay, as this array will be double, so that we are getting the values in floating point, right? So first time 0 0.00, 0 0.00. So that is because you are multiplying all the elements with 0. So your first row will be 0 0.0, 0 0.0, 0 0.0, and so on. Here also you are multiplying 0 with 1. So again you will be having 0. Now here from here it's 1 into 1, then it's 1. 2 into 1 it's 2. 3 into 1 it's 3. So in that way you are getting the output. You can see this, right? So here this is your first row and this 4 are your columns, right? Okay. So this is also you can do. Same way here you are having this I0 to less than 4, J less than 4, and you are printing just this M of I and J. So system.out.println. That's it for the new line. Any doubt in this programs? I mean, very simple and basic programs. What you have done in C language, the same programs you are having in Java. All right. Okay. Then there was one more concept I told you, that there is one loop known as for each, if you remember, right? So that I'm showing you the program. So here you are having one example for the for each. For each loop is not like here you need to write for each. No, it is not like that. Don't write over here. Don't make such kind of blunders, right? It is only the for loop, but this is the different variant of this for loop, which will take all the elements at once. Okay, so it is known as each and every, and it's something like that. So say suppose you are having one of the array, that integer array, and you have assigned some values, that is 12, 13, 14, 44, any values, right? Now here, what simply I'm doing, I'll write for loop, then I'll write data type, then I'll write my any of the element index. Let's say suppose this is my integer I, because I want to print my integer variables. Okay, so that I have taken over here, then directly colon, and then your array variable name, that is this array variable name, and simply you will print that system.out.println I. So it will take all the elements one by one, and it will print this 12, 13, 14 and 44. See, this is what the for each loop. I'll show you the output, then once again I'll repeat this. Don't worry if you don't know. See, it will just show you all the elements. So that is, each elements will be displayed at once. So what should be the syntax? Again, I'm saying that for loop, right? Inside that, you will take, if you are having double variables, you will take something double D or double A, B, C, D. That is up to you. Huh? I'm just taking any of the index which I'll print. Then colon, and then the array variable name. Say suppose this is the double, so I'll write over here that array variable name. Here I am taking a double r, so I'll write a double r, and simply whatever you have written at the first, that is your index value, that you need to print in this system.out.println SOP. Okay, and it will run. Getting this thing? So first, whatever the data type is there for your elements, that you need to write, then any element, then colon, and array variable name, right? And here you are printing system.out.println, that is element, whatever the element name you have taken. Is it clear, everyone? So that is known as for each loop. But don't make the blunders by writing for each over here. Okay, you don't have to write for each. It's for loop only. Is this clear? Should I repeat this? Then please let me know. Concept of for each. Nobody is saying anything, either say yes or say no. Okay, fine. So I hope no need to repeat this term again. Any other doubts in the array? Okay, fine. Fine. So here we have done with our array, right? That how to initialize array and all. So I'm giving you one task. Write a program to do sum of elements. Fine. So please perform this. Okay. And whomsoever I am asking, that person need to paste the code over here in the chat, right? So please do it. We are having sufficient time. Please do it. I have written the definition into chat. Okay. Fine, if everyone have done the program, please write down your enrollment number, but in a sequence, please. D2D is at the last, and please write down your numbers.